Good morning, students, and welcome to Topica Native. My name is Kelly, and I will be your teacher today. I am a native speaker from Canada, but currently I live in Hanoi, and I look forward to sharing this time together with you today. For today's lesson, we will discuss the top 10 shopping malls in the world. And we will start out our lesson by each of you giving a brief introduction. After you have introduced yourselves with your name and where you live, we will then go ahead and answer the question on the slide. Can you describe one of the shopping malls that you often go to? All right, so let's go ahead and start. We have number of students who are only listening today, but I want to welcome you to the class. Please enjoy. And for the other two students, we'll go ahead and get started with our introductions. So, hello, Yun. Could you please introduce yourself? Yun, can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Yes. Could you please introduce yourself?
My name is Dũng. I'm working and living in Ho Chi Minh City. I'm 23. Now I will answer the question.
Yes, please.
I'm not often to go to the shopping mall, but at least 1 month I go to the Diamond. Yeah, Diamond. Not for shopping, just for go around, hang out with my friend, and go to the cinema in Diamond. Diamond in Ho Chi Minh City. I will describe this shopping mall. You know, the shopping mall is very luxury. Where there are lots of people. I think they are rich people in shopping mall to buy or to sell something, and of course there are many beautiful girls and handsome boys go around the shopping mall to talk, to buy, just to shop, window shopping.
All right, excellent. Thank you for sharing. And next, Hong, could you please introduce yourself?
Okay, hello, my name is Hung. I am 18 years old, so obviously I am a student right now.
Wonderful, welcome.
Okay, thank you. To answer this question, you know, I rarely go to a shopping mall, but I can remember. I know a very big shopping center in Hanoi. That is the Vincom Center. You know that?
Yes.
I can't remember exactly, but I think there are 6 floors in Vincom Center. I can't remember exactly what each major in, but all I care when I go to Vincom Center is the 6th floor, because that is the games world. I just go to there for some games with my friends and relax after a whole day study at school, and I go there to have a great time with my friends and family. That's it.
All right, wonderful. Thank you for sharing. All right, so we're going to start out by watching a short video, and then we're going to discuss some of these big shopping malls, where they're located, and if you've ever shopped in any of these malls. So I will go ahead and load the video now.
Something amazing. It's almost like I've been stargazing. The sky is right above me. Oh, 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 wait. Remember something bigger than this. Don't ever try to dismiss yourself, 'cause you don't have to. Find your light. Find your
All right, so Yoon, can you name some of these shopping malls that we just saw in the video?
Yeah, I just remember the names. The shopping mall of Philippines. I guess it's a Mall of Asia. Yeah, and the name of the shopping mall in the U.S. is Sunway Primate. Yeah, and there are two shopping malls in Malaysia. The first one is Seva Hill. The second one I don't remember, and one more shopping mall in Turkey. Yeah, I just remember that. Mid Valley. Yeah, Mid Valley, I think.
And have you been to any of these malls?
Yeah, I went to the Seva Hill. I went to Seva Hill. Yeah, in 4 months ago. 4 months ago.
Ah, okay. And what did you think? Was it huge?
Yeah, it's very very huge, very big, and it's bigger than any shopping mall in Vietnam.
Oh, wow, and you have some big ones here. So what was the most unique part of the mall that you saw?
Sorry?
What was sort of the most unique part or the unique thing that you saw in the mall that maybe you don't see here?
Let me remember. I think I think what's the most interesting thing is in that shopping mall. I think the game center.
Was the what center?
Game center.
Oh, the game center? Did you say game center?
Yeah, the game center. I just because I'm a man, so maybe I don't like to window shopping, so I just go to the food court and the game center. There are lots of games, lots of kind of game I can see, I can play, and it's not expensive. It's just enough for even Vietnamese people. Yeah.
Sure. And was there like a water park or like anything unique in it, like a roller coaster or anything sort of out of the ordinary?
Yeah, in Malaysia there are lots of people. I don't remember which religions they follow, but there are lots of people like Indian, Chinese, and Malays. I don't. Yeah, I cannot pronounce exactly that's the religion, but there are many culture in Malaysia and in shopping mall, and also there are a lot of people from foreign countries go to the shopping mall. So I think there are lots, and maybe I really confused about the culture of Malaysia, especially in that shopping mall, because I see many people and know which country they come from.
They're from, yes. Well, I was recently in Kuala Lumpur, and I was supposed to go to Mid Valley, but I didn't go. So now that I know it's in the top 10 biggest malls, I wish I had gone. But I did go to one mall that had a roller coaster. It had a roller coaster in the middle of the mall, and it even had some loops, loop-de-loops.
Yeah.
Loops, you know, so you go upside down. And I didn't go on it, but I don't really like roller coasters, so they're not really my thing. But yeah, they had a roller coaster in the middle of the mall, and that was kind of cool. So yeah, I mean, I've been to some big malls, but I don't think I've been to a true mega mall that just has some really, you know, crazy and wild things in them. So maybe someday. All right. So our other student, yeah, maybe someday. That's right. And you and our other student, Tom, has a problem. So it looks like it's going to be just the two of us until he comes back. So so you'll get a little bit of extra attention. That's never a bad thing. And in our next exercise, we're going to look at some vocabulary. You're going to practice some vocabulary, and we're going to do some, you know, practice pronunciation. You're going to define a word, tell me what it means, and then you are going to create a sentence using that word. So we'll start by reviewing the words, and the words are alternative, convenient, authentic, retailer, shopaholic, satisfied. Could you please read those words back to me? Could you read those 6 words back?
Okay. Alternative, convenient, authentic, retailer, shopaholic, satisfied.
Okay, and one more time, please, with retailer.
Retailer.
All right. Now, let's just keep it simple, and we're just going to start with number 1. And could you please give me a definition for alternative?
I think alternative means optional. You have another option. Yeah, it's maybe similar.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we can look at it in a couple of different ways. Absolutely, having an option is one of them, or having, you know, a different choice. We can also look at it as something that's not usual or not traditional, or something that maybe is outside what you know, people think of in an established society. I remember in high school, I had some friends, and they lived in a neighboring city, and they all dressed differently. They were kind of cool, and, you know, like, they were just really different than some of the people who were in my hometown. And everybody said, "Oh, they're really alternative." So it was meant in a good way, like, because they were really cool. But we would call them alternative. So it's a different way of, you know, using the word, rather than saying, you know, we have alternatives in terms of, you know, what do you want for dinner? Well, we could have chicken, but, you know, there's alternatives. So we can certainly use the word in different ways. So could you please create a sentence using the word alternative?
Okay. Okay. From Hanoi to Ho Chi Minh, I can go to Hanoi by airplane. Alternative is by bus.
Yeah, yeah. Or we could say the alternative is a bus, or we could even say alternatively we can take a bus. So kind of change the context a little bit, but yeah, we would say the alternative would be to take a bus. Yeah, that's a great, absolutely perfect use of the word. Good job. All right, the next word on our list is convenient. Could you give me a definition, please?
Maybe you don't remember, but a few days ago, you touched me and one by one. Yeah,
Oh, did I?
yeah, and of course, yeah. So so now right now it's the same. Yeah.
That's so funny. No, I don't. I have so many classes and I do have some one-on-one, but no, I forgot. That's so funny. So, well,
Yeah.
you have to do all the work again. I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, I really like it because I can read this more and talk to you a lot.
Yes, that's right. Well, it's nice sometimes to have that extra time. So, oops, I put the definition. I hit enter before we were ready. Don't read the chat box. Don't read the chat box.
Okay, I just convenient to mean I guess it means easy to use. You can you can do it easily. You just go and you go into the convenience store and you buy something. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
doesn't
Or
take much time.
yeah, something easy, right? Easy to get to.
Yeah.
You know, often. So in I don't. I think some of the big malls in Asia will have this concept as well, but in Canada we have, and in the U.S. we have something that's called box stores. Box stores. And what that means is you go and it'll be an area that will have a lot of large retailers, well-known retailers, global retailers. And instead of them being inside of a mall, they're just stand-alone buildings, okay? So stand-alone buildings. And some people will say, we like going to the box stores because they're very convenient. We can just run in and get what we want, right? So rather than having to go into a mall, we can actually then just pull up in front of the one store, go in, get what you want, and leave.
Yeah.
So we would say it's very convenient because it's very, very easy. And could you please create a sentence using the word convenient?
Okay. Okay. What's one of the most advantages in modern life? We can be more convenient to buy some food.
Okay, so one of the most advantages in
modern life
is
we can be more convenient to buy food in on the internet.
Okay, food on the internet. Okay, so I think I got this right. So you're on the right track. Now, instead of saying one of the most advantages, in this context, I would actually say one of the best advantages. The best advantages. And I love that in modern life. That's perfect. And I would say is that we can, or is that it is convenient to buy food on the internet. Okay, so one of the best advantages in modern life is that it is convenient to buy food on the internet.
Yeah.
Okay? So yeah, we could say that. All right, good job. And well, you don't get to do all the work because home is back. So I'm gonna have you sit tight for a minute and listen, and we're going to move on and talk about authentic. So. Hum, before we get into the definition, could you please read these 6 words back to me?
Okay, sure. Alternative, convenient, authentic, retailer, shopaholic, satisfied.
All right, excellent. And could you please go ahead and give me a definition for the word authentic?
I think authentic means reliable information, right?
Well, you're on the right track. It does mean like real, so something that's not copied and it's not false. So it would be sort of true and accurate. It would be something that um, um, I want to say made to look like the original, but that wouldn't really be authentic. That would sort of be something that's not authentic. So it's really about something that's real and genuine. It's not copied, and it's something that's true and accurate. So that would be how we would look at it. We can look at it, of course, like information. We could say this is an authentic, this is an authentic document. Absolutely. So, because again, it's about being real and true. So, yeah, we could look at it that way. All right. And could you please create a sentence using the word authentic?
It's going to be much better for you to use authentic document to learn English.
Sure. Yeah. It's going to be better for you to use authentic documents when learning English. Yeah, absolutely. That works. All right. So because Yoon did 2 words, I'm going to go ahead and ask you to do the next word as well. So could you give me a definition, please, Hum, for the word retailer?
Retailer. That is a branch of a very big company, right?
Well, when we're looking at the word retailer, yeah, it can be, obviously, it can be large, large companies, but really it can be anyone who owns a retail store would be considered a retailer.
A merchant who sells goods at retail.
There you go. That's an excellent definition.
I'll look it up.
Yeah, that's
I'm kidding.
That's okay. That's okay. All right, so Home, it's going to be 2 of us for the rest of the class because Yoon has to go back to work. So it's your lucky day. You get lots of one-on-one learning today. So yeah, that was a perfect definition. And could you please create a sentence using the word retailer?
Apple is a big retailer company.
Okay. So in that case, you were sort of on the right track. So in that case, you would say that they are a big retail company. But if you wanted to use retailer, you could say, Apple is a big retailer, on the market today.
Yeah, okay, got it.
Yeah, so. On the market today. That would be how I would use that.
Yeah, I know.
All right, excellent. And shopaholic, could you give me a definition, please?
This word. Yeah.
You know this one?
Yeah, I don't know exactly, but let me guess. I think that is try to describe a person who really addicted to buy at the shopping mall, right?
Yes, well, anywhere really. They might be shopping anywhere. There's somebody who's just addicted to shopping.
Yeah, because shopaholic is almost similar to the word alcoholic.
That's right. That's right. Exactly. Yeah, you're right on the money with that one. Yeah. So yes, it's somebody who just can't stop shopping.
Yeah.
And there are some people will call it retail therapy. So they'll say, you know, when I'm in a bad mood, I'll go shopping and I'll buy all these things, you know, to make me feel better. Of course,
Yeah.
you know, it's only
Really
temporary.
generous, and it's really
It's,
generous. You're gonna
yes,
go bankrupt. You're gonna go bankrupt anytime.
that's right. That's
If
right.
you
And it's,
had a wife like that, okay?
you better be rich. You better be a rich man. And could you please create a sentence using the word shopaholic?
If you get married with a shopaholic wife, I'm sorry, with a shopaholic woman, you are gonna go bankrupt no matter who you are, even you are a Bill Gates, because when they go to shopping mall, maybe if you are just pretend like you are Bill Gates, she's gonna buy the whole mall, and you're gonna go bankrupt easily after a few days, you know.
Well, you know, there are some men that are shopaholics too, but it probably is more women. That's probably true. Yeah, so the only thing I would change is to say,
I'm just concerned about the majority, you know.
there you go. You're taking care of the masses. And
Just kidding, okay.
that's okay. So instead of saying if I can't remember exactly how you worded it. I think you said if you marry for a shopaholic. If I would say if you're married to a shopaholic.
Yeah, I said
If you get
two,
married
yeah.
to. Did you say two? Okay, I might have heard you wrong.
Okay,
That's
okay.
okay. All right, good stuff. We have one word left, which is satisfied. So I know that you will not be satisfied if you marry a shopaholic, but could you please give me a definition of the word?
Okay. Satisfied?
Yes, please.
Oh, okay, let me see. When you from my point of view, if you have the chance to go to the best shopping center in the world, you will feel satisfied with their service.
Sure. Yeah, that's a perfect sentence. Perfect. And what is the definition for it as well?
Sorry.
That's
Satisfied
okay.
is the state of feeling comfortable, feeling pleasure with something, right?
Sure. Yeah, you're happy. Yeah, you're happy. Like you've.
Like me right now.
There
Satisfied
you
with you.
Ah.
Exactly
Thank
like
you.
that.
That's always nice. You're satisfied with your class today. Well, it's not over yet, so hopefully you'll still feel like that at the end. We'll do our best. All right. So for our next exercise, we are looking at some useful idioms. Okay, and well, we've got one that's an idiom and one that is a phrasal verb. And the idiom is set up shop. Okay, so if you open up a little store somewhere or a little business, no matter what the business is, we might say that you are going to set up shop. Okay, and the next one is buy something up. So this means to buy all or as much as possible as something. So maybe you go to the grocery store and there's a sale on avocados and you love avocados and you say, I bought them all up, or I'm going to buy them all up. So, for example, he bought up all of the land in the surrounding area, or next month I'm going to set up shop in California. Okay, so it means I'm going to start a business in California. Dare to dream. So, could you please use one of these to please create a sentence for me?
Okay. I can choose each of them, right? Any of them?
Either one you like, yes.
Okay. If your spouse is shopaholic, right? If your spouse is shopaholic, they will buy clothing up, and your home is gonna become a clothing shopping.
Okay, I lost you a little bit. Okay, so that's okay. Yep.
Okay. If your spouse is shopaholic, she or he's gonna buy the clothes up when they go to shopping mall, and your home, your house is gonna become a clothing shop.
There you go. And you know what? To make it easy, you can actually, instead of saying she or he, you could say, if you marry a shopaholic, they will. They will buy everything up. And then you don't even need to specify whether it's a man or a woman, right? You can just say
Yeah,
they will.
exactly.
Yeah, they will buy everything up. And your house will become a clothing shop. That's cute. I really like that. All right. So next we're going to look at creating a sentence using the structure that we see here on the slide. And we're talking about something we have the habit of doing. Okay, so we've got our subject, have a habit, and have a habit of, and a verb with ing. So for example, she has a bad habit of spending too much money on shopping. Okay, or we could say she has a habit of crying when she spends too much at the mall. So when you get your bill later. Anyway, so could you please create a sentence using this structure?
Okay. Can I ask you a question before making a sentence?
Yes, you
Okay.
certainly can.
A habit that we are talking right now it includes bad and good things, right?
It includes what? Sorry, I didn't understand the
I
question.
mean, a habit that we are now discussing is talking about both good things and bad things, or just bad things.
Absolutely. No, a habit can be good or bad. Absolutely. So, it's really about something that is habitual. And, quite often,
Yeah.
when we talk about a habit, quite often people do talk about it maybe with a negative connotation, but
Okay.
it doesn't have to be. So for example, say, every morning you get up and you wake up at 6 a.m. and you go for a 40-minute jog or bicycle ride. You could say, I have a habit of waking up every morning at 6 a.m. and going for a bicycle ride. Okay, so it doesn't have to be negative, but quite often you will hear people refer to it that way.
Okay. Let me make a sentence.
Yeah.
I have a habit of talking too much on English speaking class.
Yeah, and instead of saying on, you would say in. So in my I would just say in my English class. I have a habit of talking too much in my English class.
Yeah.
Or in my English speaking class. You could say in my English speaking class. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, that's good. Do you want to make one more sentence for me?
For you? About you?
It's just all about me. No. Not about me, just for me and the class. There you go. On any subject you like.
You have a very, very amazing, very good habit of laughing, of smiling so much.
There you go.
It makes students feel pleasure and comfortable to study English. That is a really essential factor if we want to improve our English, right?
Absolutely. I agree. It's important to be comfortable.
Yeah.
And I always say there's no reason why we can't have fun and learn at the same time.
Exactly.
And that's how you remember. It's funny. Have you ever been to a job interview? Well, you're a student, right? You're a student. So yeah, I don't know, maybe you've had part-time jobs, but sometimes you go to an interview and the person interviewing is very mean. They're maybe not mean, but they're very stern. They don't smile. Maybe their arms are crossed. And how open are you going to be? You're not, right? Like you're going to be like, I don't want to talk. I'm too scared of this person.
I never done an interview, but I think I'm going to make a strategy right now to prepare for things like that in the future. I think I'm going to be smile because
Yes.
a smile have a very is a very powerful technique to make people talk with you, feel comfortable. That's what I learned. That is, that's kind of communication skill.
Absolutely, and a smile goes a long way, and you will find that you will get definitely more out of people. And I was a recruiter for many, many years, and I learned that the more comfortable I made people, the more information I got from them.
Yes,
So
exactly.
it's really win-win. And the other piece of advice I'll give before we move on is, so how do I word this? When I first started my career recruiting, I was working in recruitment agencies.
Oh, really?
And you have to do a lot of sales. And in Canada, agencies have kind of bad reputations. So people were really mean sometimes. They'd hang up on me. They'd yell at me for calling, and I'm just trying to earn a living like everybody else, right? But they weren't very nice, and I never understood, because I said, I might be calling you for business now, but you never know when you're going to be coming to me one day, when the shoe's on the other foot. And, if you're really mean to me, how open do you think I'm going to be to help you? And I mean, of course, I'm the type of person I probably still would, but I think it always pays to be good to people, because you never know in the future when your paths will cross again. And so, it's so easy to be nice. So choose being nice. It's just, why be miserable to people? Because you never know, it comes around.
Okay, when you try to smile, when you try to make the environment comfortable, everything is going to become so nice. If you try to make the people who are talking to you feel scared or things like shy, you can't get anything from them, and that's a really, really bad situation.
That's right. And employees, who do you think they're going to want to go the extra mile for? The boss who
Can you say again?
Employees, your staff. Who are they going to want to go the extra mile for? The mean boss who's going to yell at you, or the boss? They might do things out of fear, but they're not going to work at their best because you're operating out of fear. But if you treat your employees well, they're going to work so much harder for you.
Exactly. They are
so
going to devote to the company with
That's right.
100% energy, I think.
That's right. Well, you're ready for the working world. All right. So let's go on, and we're now going to have a quick conversation. We, of course, just had a little sidebar conversation there, which is okay. But now we're going to talk about the questions on the screen. So there's 3 questions here. How do you feel about shopping at department stores or malls? Have you ever bought any counterfeit products like fake designer bags, clothing, or jewelry? And what makes a pleasant shopping experience? So let's really set this up and make it like a real life conversation, just like, we're talking to a friend. So just like we just had a conversation, let's do that again. So, you told me earlier that you are, you go to malls mostly for the gaming.
Exactly.
But how do you feel overall about department stores or malls?
Okay, when shopping at department store more, it's quite curious. That is the thing I want to discover, because there are so many things, and they are displayed in a very amazing and beautiful way, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think the first feeling is curious. I want to discover everything. It's the really bad feeling when you go to shopping mall, because you may want to buy everything you see. I don't know exactly, because I never bought anything. I never bought anything when I go shopping more. So that is the things I can tell you right now.
You are not a shopaholic. And so I'm kind of laughed at the second question, because I have bought fake designer bags. I don't know about Well, I guess clothing, because I think I bought a shirt here that was Abercrombie and Fitch, but I'm quite sure it was a knockoff. I don't think it was real. So I have bought some fake products. And how about you? Have you ever bought any? We call them knockoffs. Have you ever bought any knockoffs?
Knockoff?
Yeah, we call them. Let me write it down for you. We call them knockoffs.
That is
Okay.
fake things, right?
That means fake. Yes, so it's a knockoff of something real. So somebody has looked at it and said, "I'm going to make the same bag, but it's only going to cost $15 as opposed to $3,000, and it's going to look the same, but it's not going to be the real thing, and the quality won't be the
Say
same."
again? Can you say again? Can you explain again the word knockoff? I'm sorry about that.
Knockoffs. It's a counterfeit item. So you have the real item, and then you have a knockoff. Okay, so a knockoff is meant to look the same, but it's not authentic. Not
Okay, I got it. I
authentic.
got it.
Yeah.
Knockoff.
Yeah. So have you ever bought any knockoffs?
Absolutely, it happens in Vietnam, every day. You know,
Okay.
when you just go to, I don't think in a big shopping. I don't think it happens in a big shopping mall in Vietnam, but for some kind of market, you know, Dong Xuân Market, right? Do you know that?
Which market?
Dong Xuân.
Oh, I'm
Yeah.
not sure.
When you go there, the only thing you can buy is a fake things.
Okay. Okay.
Uh,
And
so
now
I want to try to buy a video game try to buy a video game CD. When I go home and try to put it into my computer, it didn't work. You know, that happens every day in Vietnam. So because I know exactly, but I think it is from China.
I was just going to say, I had a class once, and they went to plug in their, what do you call it, the USB connection, and it broke. And he looked at me and said, "It must be made in China."
You know, okay, that's the truth. I don't say that the goods in China is bad, but the goods that is transferred from China to Vietnam is a bad quality. But for the goods that is bought and that is the showed in China is amazing. But for the goods that is transferred from China to Vietnam through the boundary, I think that is bad because they try to treat other people.
Yes.
Trick other people.
Yes, that's right. No, it's not good, but it's also, not good for the people who are making you an article, like they're put in a lot of hard work into that, and then to have somebody just steal their designs.
I'm gonna try the Canada. I'm gonna try the Canada things in the future. Maybe.
There you go. Have some Canadian maple syrup. There you go on your a nice sweet treat. Okay, and just lastly, and then we must move on, what do you think makes a pleasant shopping experience?
Like a pleasant shopping experience? The only things I can tell you right now is just earn money as much as possible. Because when you had a lot of money, you can buy everything you want.
Okay.
But you gotta work hard. You gotta work hard. But working hard is not enough at this time. You gotta work hard, have a great strategy, and basically, what I mean is try to earn more try to earn money as much as possible to get anything you can. That's gonna make you feel comfortable.
See, I was thinking more along the lines of excellent customer service, but having lots of money is good too, for sure. All right, a great conversation. And just lastly, so we've been going over structure as we've gone, okay?
Yeah.
So we're not going to cover off any of that, but let's just go over a couple of words of pronunciation.
Okay.
And then we're going to wrap up. So please repeat after me. Exactly.
Exactly.
World.
World.
Displayed.
Displayed.
Excellent. And just really watch, especially with a word like world or old, that in conversation you do that follow through with the pronunciation, because it can be very easy sometimes to miss. So,
Okay.
all right.
Sound is very, very important.
Very important, yeah. Just, practice it in conversation. Like, just even make up sentences and add in the word world and get used to listening to yourself and say, okay, did I hear that D? And, if you don't hear the D, then just practice it consciously so that unconsciously you'll start saying it. Because,
I know that I think the problem is if we are talking in the real life, if I talk to you directly, not through the topic native, you are going to listen to me more clearly. You are going to listen to my ending sound because I try to focus on speak ending sound every single moment because I know that is absolutely important. But because we're talking by the microphone, my microphone is absolutely terrible with a lot of technical issue. So that's the reason why you can't hear clearly my ending sound. But I always try to focus on speaking the ending sound because
that's good.
Because I gotta make the native speaker understand me.
Sure. Yeah. No, listen, you're doing very well. So we must wrap up because I have to get ready for the next class. But do you have any very quick questions before we go?
Very quick question?
Yeah. Any quick questions?
Anything?
Well, anything about the class. I'm from Canada, if you're wondering, but I think I already said that at the beginning of class.
Which city are you from?
Toronto.
Toronto. Okay,
Toronto.
big city.
Yes.
How long have you been in Vietnam?
Over 1 year.
Over 1 year. Do you plan to stay in Vietnam for the rest of your life, or you're going to come back Canada?
I will probably go back to Canada at some point, but I'm here for now. Yeah, I'm loving and living in Vietnam, but in my heart, I'm always going to be a Canadian.
Sure.
So, yeah, I'm always going to be a Canadian, and I'm a very, very proud Canadian, and when I meet other Canadians, I get so excited. I don't even care who they are. I'm like, you're Canadian. So I get very excited.
Where do you live in Hanoi, Where do you live in Hanoi?
In Tejo. Yes.
Tejo, okay, very far from my university. Okay,
yeah.
Just one more question.
Oh, okay.
How many countries have you been traveling?
Oh gosh, I'm not sure. I would have to really count that out, and I know that sounds like I've probably done a lot of traveling. I guess I have been lucky to do a lot of traveling, even though I don't necessarily travel all the time, if that makes sense. But throughout the years, I have been very blessed. So, in terms of, I don't know if I could count the exact countries, but I've had the opportunity back in quite a few years ago to go to Europe. I've been to the Caribbean. I've been to the United States. I've been to Thailand. Obviously Vietnam, and Malaysia. So I've been quite blessed. But the number of countries exactly, I couldn't really count. But
I got it.
Quite lucky. Yeah.
I love traveling like you. I wanna discover the culture around the world like you. Absolutely amazing experience.
It's amazing experience, and it's the best education you can get. Not always easy. It's not always easy, but it's always an amazing
just one more question. That is the last question, I promise.
Okay.
How can I improve my English? I mean that how I should do to say a longer, more complex, longer sentence?
Honestly, it's practice, 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 okay? So the more you use the language, the better. I would listen on a regular basis, try and listen to English, even if it's listening to the television or news or YouTube clips.
Do you think that CNN is good for me? CNN.
Well, I don't watch the news, so personally I stay away from the news because it's very negative, and so I don't like it. But if you like the news, go for it. That's your choice. It's really about listening. It doesn't matter what you listen to. It's just that you listen, okay?
Got it.
And if you're finding that it's a little bit too fast, find things to listen to that are slower, like nature shows are wonderful because they speak very slowly.
Okay,
They'll
America's
say,
Got Talent
look
gets
at
me
look
like
at
this.
the elephant on the African plain. You know, like they talk very slowly. So it's good, and then slowly you can listen more. Well, listen, it's been a wonderful class with you, and I hope that everybody listening enjoyed it as well. But I must go because I have to set up for my
Got it.
next class.
Okay, sorry for
But
taking a
no,
lot of
that's
time.
okay. Don't you worry at all. But please have a wonderful rest of your day. All right?
Sure.
Okay. I'll see you again.
You again. Have a nice day.
Yes, you as well. Bye-bye.